Everyone has felt it at least once. The warmth of being someone's everything. The feeling that someone needs you. They call when they are lost, they return when they are broken, and you open the door every single time. Because it feels like love. But what if it was never love at all? In a quiet European village between two gentle hills lived a woman named Elena. A narrow road curved through the village, disappearing behind stone houses and old oak trees. Nothing arrived suddenly there, except the lives of people who needed help. Elena wasn't rich. She wasn't important. But everyone in the village knew her name, because everyone needed her. If a roof leaked after a storm, Elena came with tools. If a mother was sick and had no one to watch her children, Elena opened her door. If an old man sat alone in grief, Elena sat beside him in silence until words returned. People often said the same thing about her. She has a gift. And Elena believed them. Helping others made her feel peaceful. It made her feel like she had found her purpose. But slowly, without noticing, Elena developed a quiet habit. Whenever she felt tired, whenever she felt overwhelmed, she told herself the same sentence. I'll do it later. Later I'll rest. Later I'll take care of myself. But later never came. Elena's husband, Thomas, was a good man, quiet, hard-working, gentle. But when work became difficult, he withdrew into silence. He stopped asking about her day, stopped laughing at dinner. He simply sat by the fireplace and stared at the flames. Elena brought him tea. She filled the silence. She carried the emotional weight of the house because she believed that was what love meant. To give and give and give again. Years passed this way, until one autumn morning, Elena became ill. Nothing dramatic, just a sickness that forced her to stay in bed for 2 weeks. For the first time in years, she could help no one, and something strange happened. The village became quiet, too quiet. In that silence, Elena realized a painful truth. Being needed is not the same as being loved. On the 5th day of her illness, an elderly neighbor named Father Matthias visited. He had lived in the village longer than anyone. He watched Elena carefully. Then he asked a simple question. When you stopped giving, who stayed? Elena didn't answer, because she already knew. Father Matthias walked slowly to her small garden outside the window. It was dry, the soil cracked, the plants withered. He picked up a small watering can and placed it beside her. Then he asked softly, "You were focusing on what?" Elena looked confused. He continued, "You watered every garden in the village. But whose garden did you forget?" Elena turned her eyes toward the dry soil outside. Her own. Father Matthias gave her 4 quiet lessons. Rule 1. Giving is healthy only when you are full. A cup that pours endlessly eventually runs dry. Rule 2. People reveal their love when you cannot help them. Need disappears quickly. Real care does not. Rule 3. Boundaries teach others how to treat you. If you never say no, the world assumes yes. Rule 4. Care for yourself before becoming the caretaker of everyone else. Even the strongest tree must protect its own roots. On the 14th day, Elena stood up, her body still weak, but her mind clear. She walked slowly to the garden. She pulled weeds, turned the soil, planted new seeds. Not for the village, for herself. Days passed. Sometimes she still felt the urge to help everyone. Sometimes she failed and overgave again, but each day she improved. Just 1%. The next time her friend Clara arrived at the door with another storm of problems, Elena poured 2 cups of tea and gently said, "Before you tell me your story, I want to tell you something first." Clara listened. For the first time, her husband Thomas also noticed the change. Without Elena filling every silence, he slowly began asking questions. Small ones. How are you feeling today? What do you want for dinner? Tiny moments. But real ones. Elena never stopped helping people. But she learned to help differently. Not from fear, not from obligation, but from choice. Because love does not demand that you disappear. It does not ask you to empty yourself. Real love stands beside you, even when you have nothing left to give. And Elena finally understood a truth many people learn too late. If you give the world everything but yourself, you will eventually lose both. If this story felt familiar, you are not alone. Tell me in the comments, when was the last time you chose yourself? And if you want more stories about wisdom, life lessons, and inner strength, subscribe to the channel. Because sometimes, a simple story is the mirror we need to finally see ourselves.